Alright, so figured I'd do a toolbox tour of my box. Got a 4-drawer cart box on the top, and then I have my 44-inch box on the bottom. I guess we'll start up top. So up top is mostly just my power tools, and it needs cleaned out bad. It's got my Bluetooth speaker. I've got my favorite impact of all times, 3/8 stubby, running 3/8 fittings, and my 1/2-inch regular Capri impact. Got Hercules cordless, and I do have a DeWalt 1/2-inch hammer drill that is not up there, and a cat light O-ring set, fuses, and a couple spare 1/4-inch fittings. And then in this drawer, this is my electrical drawer. Got some dielectric grease, my little torch to melt butt connector ends, my butt connectors, spades on my electrical fittings, solder for when I have to solder stuff, some flux, a couple eyes, heat shrink tubing, and eyes. And then I have my Capri stripper and my Carlisle crimper stripper and a Stanley stripper. I love that Stanley stripper. Some electrical tape and some red tape for whenever I do positive wires. Over here is my record keeping, because I have to keep track of all maintenance done on fleet stuff. Then in here, here's where the tools start, I guess, is my Capri screwdriver set. Best screwdriver set of all times. I have used these to the point where the name's wearing off of them. Yeah. So, awesome set. I just did add my first Tecton tool. It is a number 2 screwdriver. It is made in USA. Let's see how it is. So far, I don't care for the handle. It's too big for my hand. Like, I can't get all the way around. And I did choose for the black oxide. They do have a chrome like the Capri, but I wanted to try something a little bit different. And then I have the Icon scraper. I absolutely love this thing. I've got a Walmart Hyper Tough scraper. It's pretty good. Got a Capri pocket screwdriver. The flat one is in my pocket. Got picks, channel lock, and some Hart mini screwdrivers. Then in this drawer is all my sockets and stuff I don't generally use. Got a big 3/4-inch Craftsman ratchet. I use this thing all the time. It is a tool to adjust the slack adjusters. You can use just the regular wrench. That's for, like, I only use that on the front axles of the trucks, because you can't get to the one slack adjuster with a ratchet. Then here's where the money is. So got a whole bunch of different brands and stuff in here. Got Capri metric and standard Allen sockets, my 12-point 1/4-inch sockets. I use those for taps and easy outs and stuff like that. I know I should get the tap sockets, but I don't have them. Here I have a 11/16 socket. It's great for getting those bolts on the top of the C15s, the studs. And then I have a 3/4-inch socket for the brake chambers. The engine barring tool for C15s. Spark plug socket for whenever I work on forklifts. Swivel, don't really ever use that. 15/16 for, I used to use that as a barring tool for the front of the harmonic balancer. 1.5-inch socket, use that for oil drain plugs. Swivel socket works great for getting in between the wheel and the frame for 5th wheel plates. 5/8, 2 5/8 sockets works great for the cam and the starter bolts. And 1/2-inch, I use this thing on the impact all the time, and it is for the hood bolts on the Peterbilts. 9/16, I use that for rod bolts on C15s, and 1/2-inch, I use that for a driveline. And then here I have my injector height tool. Then I have my impact extensions, all Capri ratchets, my half, 3/8, quarter, same on my straights. I do have a Craftsman ratchet. I use that whenever all my 1/4 inches are being used. I've got a Pittsburgh 25-inch half-inch drive breaker bar. I've got the Capri 3/8 breaker bar. Whole bunch of extensions and stuff. I'll get my flashlight and show you what's in there. A whole bunch of different extensions, mostly Pittsburgh, some Cobalt. I've got some old Napa professional tools, MPT, replaced by Carlisle's. I've got the older set of metric impacts, and I've got 2 that were missing in this set. This one's Carlisle, and this one is Sunex. I don't use metric that much. Most of Peterbilt's are SAE, especially 379s, which is all we have. I've got my metric socket set. I've got the 7mm at home because I own a Ford, so yep. Then my 1/4 inch socket set, don't use that too much. I mainly just use this set. This is awesome. Capri impact sockets, 3/8 drive. Use it all the time. That one I have currently I'm using. That one is missing because I only got the setup to 3/4 the first time. I bought this one. Actually, this one I don't have. I have the full set of the shallows. I'd like to get the mid-length yet. And then 1/2 inch. The shallows are Job Smarts, and they only went up to 15/16. I need to get the inch one yet. I've got some bigger sockets that are gray pneumatic. Just the big ones, and these are all Pittsburgh. Those are the original ones I started out with. This one I cut to where you can put an inch wrench on it. Still works just fine. So, and then I have Icon screwdriver things. I do not like them. They twist. Would not recommend buying. This is the second one I've had now. Icon Torx sockets. They're okay. Once again, too much money for what they are, but they get the job done sometimes. Oh, and then right here's a Snap-on T40 Plus Torx socket. It's for the peanut cover bolts on the C15s. And then an Aries tool bit driver. I love it. Get yourselves one of these, and you have a super stubby ratchet, and you can use the other end. Aries adapters, swivels, not adapters, but swivels. Use them all the time, especially the 3/8 now. It used to be the 1/2 inch, but. And then my wrench drawer. This is all my, not all of them, but all SAE wrenches in here. Got Capri, Carlisle, Capri, and Capri. Absolutely love them. And I have crescent adjustable wrenches. And then over here I've got some Sunex wobble extensions, impact. And I've got a set of Sunex stubby wrenches. I love them. I use them a lot. One Carlisle wrench. And then some Road Pro wrenches I found in a truck. And then here I've got my big 3 Master Mechanic wrenches. I do not like them, but I didn't have much money whenever I bought them, so I got an entire set from 5/16 up to 1.25 inch, and all I needed was these 3 wrenches, and it was cheaper to buy the whole set than to buy the individual 3, so I have them. Still use them. Proto wrenches, use them sometimes when I can't find my other wrenches during a job. I made this wrench to do radiator bolts on the older 379s. You got to get into a slot, and the open end is too big, and you can't use the closed end because it's too big as well. Can't fit past the pan. So this works quite well. It was a Master Mechanic out of the same set as these. Cut it, don't regret it. Then I've got an older Craftsman. It's not that old, but they don't make them anymore. The ratcheting open end. I don't use it much, but I've used it a couple times and it's super nice. Capri Torx L keys, and then my Allen wrenches. I really like this set. It's awesome for running the overheads. This is my catch-all drawer. I use this stuff for lubing my ratchets. Got drill bits. Don't worry, they're not Hercules drill bits. And tape measure, safety glasses, earplugs, heat shrinking. Yeah, you name it, it's in here. And my vice grips, got a Capri vice grip here. I use this thing as my hose pinch off pliers because for the most part on these big trucks, a regular hose pinching plier will not work. So I just made this for the smaller hoses that I deal with. Don't use it that often. I've got a blue point ratchet that I started out with up here. I did not care for the blue point ratchets, so I don't ever use it. I've got a 1/4 inch at home and a long 1/4 inch extension, Pittsburgh. These are all vice grip brand except for this one and this one. Those are both Capri tools, and the red handled ones are Crescent, and then a C-clamp, of course. And here I've got my Icon Allen set, hex key set. I do not like these because they're 1/2 inch drive and they're just plain too big and bulky to get into some spots. And then I've got a greasing assortment set. It's okay, don't use it that much. This is my very first ratchet. It's a Pittsburgh. It's about 5 years old. Yeah, still works perfectly fine, super smooth. I just prefer my Capris, so I leave it in here and I use it when I'm in the mood. And then I've got my extraction sockets. They work really well. Yeah, I've got, this is back whenever I used to work on forklifts. Don't use them much anymore, but parts manuals, whatnot. Mostly all just paperwork and, yeah. Just a catch-all drawer. And then, right here's my pliers drawer. These red-handled ones right here are Doyle from Harbor Freight. Pittsburgh, Quinn, Carlisle. That came from CarQuest. Yeah, I think it's Dorman brand. It is not good at all. I've got this from Menards, flush cutters. I've got my SK needle nose, and this Menards again. I love that. The SK needle noses I would not recommend at all. The tips break. I've had them warranted 4 times. They're out of stock on these. They don't make them anymore, so they sent this, and it's like super stiff. So I don't use them. Here's my 3 go-to pliers. Knipex. Here's Cobra, Alligator, and the needle nose. Super smooth. I absolutely love them. And then my fuel filter pliers are just $5 pair of Job Smarts. And then in here's my metric wrenches. Mostly Capri. They are the bolt biting ones. And then a Pittsburgh and a Vulcan. Couple Duralasts. See, I think there's, yeah, right there's a gear wrench. And a couple Pittsburgh stubby wrenches. I don't use metric that often. Here's my hammer drawer. Got a big bolt for whenever you got to beat on stuff. I do a lot of that, I guess. Center punch, Wild. I have used it. I just like to keep the little tab for some reason. Pittsburgh punches, junk. Would not recommend. But they're okay for beating up. Couple more Pittsburgh pin punches and stuff like that. The yeah, they pull apart and they're not that great. I've got a rod I cut off of a brake chamber. Has a punch, works awesome. Got a 2-pound S-wing hammer. Got a little SK 8-ounce. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is 8 ounce. dead blow hammer, absolutely love it. That one's well worth the money I spent on it. Pry bars, these came from AutoZone, and these black handled ones are Pittsburgh's. I don't care for the Pittsburghs. The handles are like degrading or something. They're constantly wet for some reason. And then gear wrench indexing pry bar, absolutely love it. Then here's another catch-all. You gotta have cold cough medicine, you know. Zip ties, grease fittings, and then ends to make grease lines. With Scotch Brite pads when I'm cleaning up seal surfaces. Blue point screw extractor set. Compression tester whenever I used to work on forklifts. And yeah, just a bunch of zip ties. And then here's my specialty drawer. It's 3/8 torque wrench. Don't really use that for much engine work, but hubcaps, stuff like that. Bushing driver set from Napa. And then a junk tap and die set. Used it maybe once. Love it. OEM bearing race installer set. Absolutely love it. It works awesome for putting in smaller seals and stuff. The lids to those Capri Allen socket sets up there in the top drawer. And my bigger dead blow soldering gun, smaller air hammer, and I have a bigger air hammer. It's just not in the box right now. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Got like a little power rail setup thing here going. Runs up here. Then I have my Bluetooth charger plugged in, and I have my phone charger. And I have room for one more plug. Got my copper never sees and my aluminum never sees. I prefer copper, but you can't use copper on electrical stuff that's going to be electrified or could have static electricity, because it'll just corrode because of the conductivity of the copper. And then aluminum never sees, some Freol, works great. Some grease I never use, just came out of a truck that we had. And a piece of candy, little tray. These trays I find that you pull off like radiators and stuff, they work great for little parts catch-alls. Couple ends for brake cleaner cans. I find that the Napa cans have a better tip than the CarQuest ones, but we use CarQuest, so I just throw the Napa tips on whenever I have to use a lot of brake clean. Got a little magnetic tray and work gloves and a can of the liquid tape for whenever you got to probe wires. And then my Capri, it is an LED light, and it also does ultraviolet, not violent, but yeah, works pretty good. Love that light. Other than that, that's all pretty much it. Got a couple different stickers up here. Yeah. Got Capri all over it. No, it is not a Capri toolbox. It is a US General. Already had some people ask because of that sticker right there. Other than that, I also have this cart. It is my homemade cart mobile workbench. Here's my drill I was telling you about. Got a Craftsman screwdriver I keep in here. Grease, some bolts for pinning motors. That cover goes onto a truck I'm working on. Purge valve needs thrown away. I've got a little 3-inch vise. Works great. It's from Harbor Freight. I don't use it for anything heavy, but it is nice for, you know, mobile table. Then the bottom's just a catch-all as of right now. Needs cleaned out. Has power steering fluid, a couple cap parts, some forklift parts still, and yeah. So, yep. I will talk to you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment, like the video, subscribe. Let me know what you think.